Hi there, Rebecca here from Laugh So Create. Welcome. I just wanted you to pull up a chair. Let's just fake believe that you're in my sewing room. This video is for the ultimate beginner. If there are any seasoned sewers on watching this and you would like to share in the comments below, what are some tools that you found were essential when you were starting out? You wish somebody had tapped you on the shoulder or a friend had told you that these were the items that you should start with and get a good start rather than just kind of fumbling through it like I did. And this is geared more towards pouches, bag making, that kind of thing, and it doesn't involve the sewing machine, that's a given. With a few simple tweaks, this would also be good for somebody that's planning to do more of garment sewing. So starting out, let's open up this little pouch and see what's in there. So the first thing I'm going to recommend is that you get some pins if you don't already have them. My ultimate dream is to get some of those silicone pins. I don't know if you've seen those. They just have a silicone end, and so you can actually iron over them if you need to, but I haven't quite purchased those yet. But anyway, so some pins would be good, especially if you're going to be doing more of an apparel kind of sewing. Number 2 would be getting some clover clips. And the clover clips are, Clover's just a brand, but any kind of clip will do that is designed to open up around wider fabric. So once you get into sewing pouches, you'll have a thicker amount of fabric and you want something that will go over that. Alternatives to that would be the bullnose clips. Those, like if you have small ones, that would work. I've seen people use the metal, my dogs are outside the door, but I've seen people use the metal clips that go in, the old-fashioned kind of metal clips that you used to use for pin curls. Those work. So yeah, so that was number 2. Number 3 and 4 wouldn't fit in this, but that would be a rotary cutter and a mat. And the reason why, and I think these 2 items I wish I would have purchased right away. I kept delaying to get them because I just thought it would be an investment that I wasn't sure if I was going to use a lot. Well, if you're going to be doing pouches and purses, you're going to be cutting a lot of right angles and straight lines. So it's a little more essential if you're going to do that. Whereas with garment sewing, you're cutting more just, patterns out and such that don't require so much of a straight edge. If you're planning on quilting, also a necessity because you'll be wanting to get some straight edges. Number 5 would be, 5 and 6 we'll do together. 5 and 6 would be scissors. Now you're going to need 2 designated scissors, one for fabric and one for anything else. It's really important that you'll keep your fabric scissors only for fabric. If you are going to be cutting over polyester zips, then you want to use a utility scissor. 7, and this might have been, I should have put this one at the very top, I think. But 7 is a seam ripper, and seam ripper is essential for any sewist, just because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have to rip out stitches. Number 8, some sort of marking tool. Now this is a disappearing ink marking tool. You can find these at any fabric store, Walmart, you name it. But you want something that you can mark, and whenever you're using a marking tool, you want to make sure that you're testing it on the fabric prior to your project to make sure that it is indeed going to disappear. A lot of people use the friction pens that you get at Walmart. They're not really made for sewing, but they are a disappearing ink and they come in multiple colors. If you're going to be using those, they're great because they have a fine point to them. But you want to make sure that it's going to be in an area maybe that doesn't show, because when it gets cold, the lines can reappear. You can use tailor's chalk, so any kind of chalk is good. That is useful, especially if you're going to be doing garment sewing. I've used things such as shards of soap. Just collect these when they're running out in the shower, and then I keep them to mark things, especially darker fabrics like denim. Okay, number 9 would be a pair of snips. Now, you want something that you can keep at your sewing machine, and then I think this is number 10. Now, I could have probably shoved a few more things in it, but I thought 10 would be good. Some double-sided tape. Now, there are all kinds of double-sided tape. There's hemming tape that you can find at the shop. You can find double-sided tape in various widths. This is about a 1/4 inch double-sided tape. I got this from Tandy Leather. I think it's leather tape, so it is very sticky and it has a tendency to gum up your needle, so you have to kind of clean off your needle with alcohol. So you might want to try some other double-sided tapes. I've seen, and where I'm thinking of this for specifically the bag maker and the pouch maker is it can help in placement of your zipper, and it'll keep it flat instead of pinning it. Now, I have seen people use glue sticks like school glue, just making sure that it dries before you run it through the sewing machine. I've seen people use that, or like even the roll-up glue sticks for school. So just experiment, but you want something that can kind of hold things in place temporarily until you run it through the machine. So those are 10 items that I wish I would have known right away to gather in my little sewing space when I was starting out. Thought it might be helpful for you new beginner sewers to be able to gather some supplies. Hope it helps, and until next time, I wish you happy sewing. Bye for now.